In this video, I'm going to lay out the exact roadmap that I would start in 2024 to break into the software world, even if you are a complete beginner right now. So this doesn't matter if you have no money right now, no audience, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna show you exactly the steps and the roadmap that I would take to get started right now. So buckle up and let's get straight into it. I'm going to make the assumption that we have basically no money to work with right now, meaning we can't pay for our software idea to be built, or we can't spend a lot on a bunch of software subscriptions to start up our business right now. So first we need to actually create some cash flow. So we need to learn a skill, and we're going to start with one that is going to give us the most leverage later on. And if you watch until the end of this video, it'll all make sense then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it's going to give us the most leverage later on. But the skill that we're going to learn is how to build software applications using bubble.io. Bubble is the best no-code builder right now to build web applications. I know tons of people that have software companies built on Bubble that are doing up to 7 figures. I know there's a company called Dividend that raised $365 million, is built on Bubble. It's very, very legit. It's extremely customizable. It's extremely scalable. I run a Bubble agency and we have tons of clients that are putting up really, really good numbers on Bubble with 0 issues. So how do we start to learn how to build on Bubble? Because it's not as easy as some of the other no-code builders out there that are just drag and drop. So there's a few different ways. There's obviously YouTube tutorials. Bubble as well, I believe, has their own free course. And then also inside of the premium version of our Discord, we have about a 12-hour-long full Bubble tutorial led by my lead developer who's built over 20 projects for our agency and our clients. I'll have that linked in the description if you want to check it out. Regardless of which route you end up taking to learn Bubble, it's going to take you roughly 6 weeks to be proficient in building on Bubble. Again, there's going to be some variance based off like how technical you are, just like how fast of a learner you are. But most people are able to get a pretty proficient, building ability on Bubble in about 6 weeks. So once you've spent 6 weeks learning, watching tutorials and then practicing inside of Bubble's editor yourself, you're going to be ready to go and look for your first freelance client. So how do you get your first client? That's everyone's big question, right? So it's going to be between a mix of hyper personalized outreach as well as making content to get clients. These are the 2 best ways to get clients. Here's how I would go about doing hyper targeted outreach. I would find a decent sized creator in the business niche, someone that has 20,000 followers or more, and I'd see what types of softwares they promote to their audience, or what type of softwares are required to carry out the business model that they're teaching or talking about. For example, if someone teaches about drop shipping, they most likely promote or talk about a software that is like a product research tool and helps people find winning products to sell online. Next, what I would do is I would take that software that I've seen them talk about and I would look up its reviews on G2. So you would literally just put the software's name, like I know there's one maybe called like Jungle Scout, and I put like Jungle Scout G2 reviews. And I would scroll to what people dislike about that software, and I would look for all of the recurring complaints. Maybe it is a feature that they think that's missing, or maybe it's buggy, or maybe it's the pricing they have a problem with. They wish there was a different tiered pricing. We're looking for some sort of recurring complaint we can solve. And then I would put together a report, and this could be something simple, just like on a Google Doc, going over how there's a massive opportunity to build a better alternative of this software that they're already promoting to their audience, and build a better version based off of this, this new feature that you think you could include, or a better pricing model that you could do. And that how now, instead of just getting a small affiliate cut for promoting it, you could, get a much higher margin promoting your own software. And on top of that, building enterprise value as in a company you can sell. And if you wanted to even take it a step further and really impress them, you could also create a Figma mock-up design of what it could look and feel like. And so then you could say, hey, here's this big report on the opportunity, and by the way, I already designed it. Here's exactly how it would look and feel. And then it's like, hey, do you want to hop on a call and talk about what it would look like for me to build this for you? Like, that is how you close clients with hyper personalized outreach. So basically I would reach out and say something along the lines of, hey John, I saw you promote X software, and I actually work as a fractional CTO for influencers like yourself, and I found some complaints people have about, insert company that, or software company that you found that they promote. And I know there's a massive opportunity to build a better alternative version of this that solves XYZ complaints you found about the original software. And I even made this Figma mockup for you to show you what it could look like. And then want to chat what this would look like to build together. And so I guarantee you, if someone reached out to me like that is one that I would respond to, not like the blanket copy paste messages that people send me. And so you're gonna charge them $3,000 to $5,000 to build this first iteration for them. And to make make it easier to remove the barrier to entry from them. You can split the payment into half up front and then half upon completions, or if they're really being tricky, you could break it up into even more, like, you know, first payment when the designs are done, and then second payment when like the back-end development is done, and then like third payment when you actually transfer ownership of the app. So now you're gonna spend a few weeks building their application on Bubble, and you are going to make a case study for yourself. And so you'll continue to do outreach like this, and as well as make content and get more and more clients. I'm not gonna go into how to make content to get clients for this because I already made another video on how I make content to get clients. So if you want to go watch that video, you can find it on my channel. But the most important thing is that we now have something that we didn't have before, which is cash flow. And so we're going to freelance like this until we have 6 to 12 months of living expenses in the bank. This gives us some breathing room, and now we can go into a more leveraged business model. Now, you know how I said at the beginning, the reason we're going to learn how to build on bubble.io is because it gives us more leverage later on, and it'll all make sense to you later on in the video. Yeah, so let me explain what we can do next. So now we could hire freelance Bubble developers under us, and we could just focus on client acquisition and scale this into a Bubble development agency. We could now build our own software ideas that we've had in the past maybe, or maybe it's a new one that we got. And now instead of having to go pay a couple $1,000s to a Bubble developer, we know how to build on Bubble ourselves. We can just go and build our own software idea. We could partner with more influencers like we did before, but maybe now instead of just asking for cash, maybe now we do it for, hey, we just want 10%, 20% equity, and I'll be your full-time CTO. And now you're gonna get cash flow from that company as well as the upside if that company has an exit later on. Or you could run a venture studio model like I do, and you could charge cash plus equity to build ideas for people, and you build out other systems to not only build the actual like software application for them, but you also help them take it to market, and you have ways of helping them grow it and get customers. So you have all these different options. You could do a Bubble agency, you could build your own software, you could partner with influencers as their CTO, or you could run like a venture studio model. So you have all these different options, and each of them have their own pros and cons, and you know, some are better for cash flow, some are better for, you know, long-term enterprise value, but you have a lot of options, which these other skills that you could do as a freelancer don't give you, like copywriting and sales. You know, these are still great skills to learn, but they don't have as much leverage and don't give you as many avenues later on. So here's what your timeline could look like if you start today. 6 weeks from now, you could be proficient in knowing how to build on bubble.io. Then, after freelancing for 3 to 6 months, you're going to have some cash in the bank, I hope. And as well, if you've been posting content like you should be, you're gonna have some level of an audience, whether it's big or not, you're gonna have some level of an audience. So then by the end of the year, you could be at a point where you have some money in the bank, you have somewhat of an audience, and then you can either start Bubble agency, your own software company, a venture studio, or partner with an influencer as the CTO of their software company. And get the best of both worlds of having cash flow from your projects, as well as long-term upside if any of those companies would end up having an exit down the line. If I was starting from zero today, this is exactly the path that I would be going down. And this is the exact path that Chris is taking right now, who joined our Bubble Bootcamp and just closed his first client at 18 for $4,000. This is the best path to ultimately being able to start your own software company in 2024. And it starts with you learning how to build on bubble.io. So if you want to learn how to build on Bubble and even more from me on how to get clients and all these other things, I'll put the link to our Discord in the description, as well as all the other links if you want to join my newsletter or if you want my team to build your software company. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It really helps me if you like and comment. But regardless, I'll see you guys in the next one.